the fall off of Skywrath Mage. It feels like, yeah, Skywrath, you've got an Ancient Silver Storm, but overall the hero just doesn't offer as much as Lion does.
So Sniper Storm, Co-op.
Co-op and Shadow Fiend are two. I mean, those are the 4 mid heroes which Super and 430 both play. I'd love to see if which of those will get banned out. Vici Gaming have more option to leave them in the pool being first pick.
I mentioned it last game as well, and I expect to see it again. The top teams here are all about stealing enemy stacks. Absolutely. And a lot of the big upsets, I mean, the first time we saw it happen was against Alliance in the tournament. It was really surprising, but it caught them completely off guard, and it absolutely neutered their potential to win that game. And we saw it last game as well, taking advantage, move into their jungle, take their stacks. Is the solution stop stacking?
And go gank more.
Do you play inefficient on purpose so that they can't profit from their slight early advantage?
Well, I guess that first ban on the PL last game was warranted from IG because Vici Gaming will be happy to snatch it with their first pick.
And that's not exactly the most early game here. He's pretty good early game, but his Spirit Lance only does 250 damage. His Charge and his Doppelgang are pretty long cooldowns at level 1, so I don't know, I feel like this is a bit not as good as the Storm for the early game. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe they'll play less aggressive.
Maybe more like the other 4 heroes are creating space early and fighting. And it feels like the Vici Gaming will go for these super aggressive early games and let Hao farm for at least like the first 10 minutes, and then he comes to the fights. Once he has like he goes for the drums normally as his first item, and then just fights with the drums.
And that's definitely useful. I mean, drum isn't purchased very often, so if you have a drum advantage over the enemy team, that's something like a 15% movement speed advantage. It's like a free Yasha on all of your heroes. So drum may be a bit undervalued compared to what it was maybe 1 year ago, 6 months.
Which carries do you think you want to be picking, or just core heroes in general against PL?
Well, we can't forget this could be an off-lane PL. There is a chance at it here. Ice has played it.
I feel like his value is definitely as a carry, though. The solution against him, AoE, is really good. You don't necessarily have to pick a carry against him. As long as you have supports that can clear him, it's good. Disruptor's relatively good, because I think you can Thunderstrike through Doppelgang. Always know which one's the real one. Charge is pretty good against him. That's if you're worried about
take the Axe themselves.
Axe is great as well, too, because if he happens to spawn illusions, and it's a pretty high chance, then takes more damage. But PL's armor is actually really high early on. Axe doesn't actually trade very well versus PL pre-6, surprisingly. Because if you get a Basilius, you've got something like 10 armor in the early game. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And Lina, the second choice here for IG.
Just get the follow-up damage. Your Axe goes in with a Blink Hole. You need some kind of stable follow-up, and probably going to see this just as a standard support. 430 doesn't go in the mid lane all too often. Vici Gaming using up a lot of their time now. Going to start chewing away reserve time soon. I don't think they want to be revealing too much here. This is where you see someone like a Lion get second picked. Just don't want to reveal too much about your draft. Pick up a stable support. If not a Lion, then something else for FY or Fenrir maybe. Yeah. Earthshaker. There we go.
Just thinking Earthshaker, a possibility. Venge also in the pool. Dire Side maybe makes her a little more tempting, but
I think this is like one of the first times we've seen an Earthshaker picked when it isn't in combination with a mid that they want to cover. Like, it's always Sniper Earthshaker, SF Earthshaker. This is just a super open-ended pick. Doesn't necessarily counter anything IG has particularly. It doesn't necessarily super defend PL. It's pretty good versus PL, though, I must say, because if you drop a Fissure down, he can Doppelgang over it. There's a couple cool things you can do, but a very open-ended Earthshaker pick, I feel.
Yeah, I wonder if when they see the PL gets first picked, if IG are considering, like, let's go offensive tri-lane against this, because they have run Luo as like a safe lane solo on a few occasions. He played the safe lane solo Zeus earlier today, and PL tri-lane versus tri-lane is okay. His Spirit Lance level 1, as you mentioned, doesn't do all too much damage, and the hero can get beat in a kind of aggro tri-lane scenario.
Some interesting third and fourth bans coming out here. Rubik and Ember Spirit taken out by Vici. And IG, first they banned the Invoker. They were bested by it in Game 3 yesterday, so I suppose not a surprise to see them respecting the Super Invoker.
I think the Ember maybe as a pure counter pick to PL, just because a Battle Fury Ember Spirit against the illusions can
huge cleave,
do a lot of damage.
That's a really good point.
It's something I haven't actually seen, but I imagine that could actually be ridiculous as to how much Ember Spirit can cleave off of that.
Maybe Vici are thinking about a Spirit Breaker. Rubik and Ember Spirit are two go-to picks to stop him from charging.
I don't think you'd I don't think you'd ban an Ember Spirit just to set up. I think I could agree they may pick Spirit Breaker, but I don't feel like, oh, we don't pick Spirit Breaker, let's ban Ember Spirit. I don't think that's something you'd ever consider.
I agree with Gods here. The synergy that you get out of just cleaving off of all the illusions that naturally clump because of their sprint ability it would be way too scary. Plus, they just picked Ember Spirit earlier today, so...
Yeah, that's true.
I think the Rubik ban is because of the potential for an aggro tri-lane. Rubik Lina as a support duo is just perfect setup for the Lina stun.
Yeah, a lot of right clicks.
And Rubik's great against Earthshaker.
2 high-range heroes, so there's not really another amazing support setup for a Lina that's got the same range. Like, you get like Avenge with a magic missile, but it's a much shorter range initiation, much less reliable. If you want to go for an aggro tri-lane, you've got fewer options now to go with the Lina as a support duo.
So only, what is that, about 40 seconds left to draft here? And they're moving into the second stage. Going to start revealing their strategy, but...
A lot of options here for IG.
This is where we're probably going to see a kind of unconventional 1v1 mid lane. When you get these first 4 bans on all your super and 430 heroes, it's kind of very open as far as what we see mid. Then we have the Invoker and the Ember Spirit banned out on top of that.
Yeah, it's really weird, alright.
May see some like Brewmasters come out. Ooh. But for now, IG take the Wisp for themselves. They've got the Wisp backs.
Like, that worked for you, let's try to do it back.
Yeah.
So, unlikely to see the aggro tri-lane. If anything, this puts Wisp and Axe in a kind of dual lane setup. That's also where an aggro tri-lane seemed plausible, because Axe is great in 1v1 matchups, especially against melee heroes, which would limit what Vici Gaming could get for the offlane. But now Vici Gaming have to worry about the exact combo they used in game 1.
Now the Brood Mother not banned out. Axe very good against Brood.
I don't think we'll see a Brood for either team. IG could just respond and like lane the Axe solo versus Brood if they wanted to at that point.
Who is super good play here? I guess Zeus is still an option that they could put mid.
That's a good point. That's a really common mid hero that hasn't been picked. Even something like Beastmaster might be really good. I mean, it seemed like it was a huge priority for Cloud9, but I think it's a great hero still. Gives you vision, can set up Wisp TPs, maybe something IG is going to be aiming for. Zeus is the pick for Vici though, so that'll be Super's hero very likely. Pretty good versus,
Whoa. Wisp
IG.
Very uncommon hero. I think his strengths are basically tons of cleave, so extremely good versus PL actually. You're going to kill those illusions extremely rapidly. The cleave is 70%, and the other really good thing about the hero is his third skill, Warcry. I think it's a little underappreciated. It gives you approximately 10 armor to your entire team at like 50% uptime, not to mention movement speed. It means that Lina and Wisp, despite being dived on by heroes like PL, are still going to be survivable.
Yeah, and Sen, once he pops all his spells, doesn't mind getting mana burned by the PL. If anything, he's going to go for a BKB, so he's taking a lot less damage from a Diffusal Blade PL.
So what are the weaknesses of Sven, though? I mean, he's certainly not picked very frequently on this patch.
Melee, low mana.
Doesn't flash farm very well.
Points. If he stacks, he's pretty good at flash farming.
At that point, like, you have to go cleave over Warcry, which as a Sven, you're not. I mean, you've got the Wisp on your side, so I think they're going to stack a lot and prioritize maybe 1 or 2 points in Warcry, then cleave. But
I think the thing you really skip on him is maybe his stun. You get 2, maybe 3 levels of his stun, and then go heavy into your second 2 abilities. Because I mean, Warcry, you can take a tower just by Warcry and your creep wave, because then they take like 8 tower hits instead of 5 or something.
The Stormbolt can be a bit of a 1-point wonder. I believe it's just the damage that scales.
Yep, just damage, I believe.
Mana cost stays the same.
It's
everything
really
else is
a bad scaling ability, but it is AoE, so there is some acceleration that you get out of it.
And here we go, Vici Gaming with the Crystal Maiden again. This was their 5th pick in Game 3 yesterday.
they like it with the PL. I mean, it's as much as the Arcane Aura does seem so underwhelming these days, you've got 3 heroes who all get decent benefit from it.
Yeah. And it's not just about Arcane Aura, it's also about the early game that she gives. Sin really talked about comparing her to Align, but Crystal Maiden has 2 nukes at level 2. And yeah, one of them's not a Hex, and neither of them are a stun, but before somebody gets a BKB and maybe they don't have Force Staffs, those are great in the early game. So you have 2 nukes, you can level them up depending on what you need, whether it's an Immobilize or if it's an AoE slow. So her early game roaming is in a lot of ways stronger than Lion's, at least pre-6. And at the very least, her disable is similar, and the damage is definitely higher.
So IG have in mind for their last pick now. If Lina's a support, they're looking for that 430 mid hero, which is where Viper gets spanned up by Vici Gaming.
We are running very low on mid hero options.
Well, they don't need a counter to the PL, I feel. I think Sven is great enough, so maybe just pick something that's decent versus Zeus, and then...
TA, perhaps? No, a puck, okay.
I was about to say, I don't think they want to go for any more melee cores. They've already got Sven and Axe. Something like a TA would probably struggle this game, but puck gives them a lot of good control.
It's great with Sven as well, because Sven is very weak on chasing people down. Most of the time you spend your time, you're like, come on, just let me hit you, and cleave everybody down. If you puck ulti everybody and they're clumped together, Sven can BKB, and he should be able to go through at least 2 or 3 heroes before he's out of steam. So I really like the pick. It pulls Sven together. It's decent versus Zeus. You can make PL less squirrely by Blink silencing him. I think this is a really good pick that fits with the Sven and the Axe and even the Lina catch-up land your abilities.
Feels like a very good draft for IG. Good lane presence, great mid-game team fighting, and scalability towards the late game. Pretty much everything you look for. Vici, they'll grab Clockwork with their last.
All right, can Ice make this hero look overpowered? It's a real question.
This is going to be a much tougher lane for him. And even a hero which... It's not going to be an amazing game for a Clockwork. You've got kind of elusive puck, a Whisk to kind of bail people out. No good 4-star buyers outside of maybe the Axe who can get a 4-star after his Blink Dagger. Lina, typically you want to go for that Yule Scepter, but...
Yeah. It will be tough. But most importantly, if he can keep Sven segmented, I think he'll do his job this game. That's one of the things that we didn't talk about earlier with Clockwork. If you keep people away from the rest of the fight, you're going to do okay. And Sven is definitely the hero that you want to segment that has some mobility problems. So jump in, cog him, push him away from the team, and get out. And Clockwork does his job here.
Okay, Zeus versus Puck will be the mid matchup as Super does indeed take the Zeus. An interesting draft on both sides, a bit different from what we've seen throughout this tournament.
Yeah.
I don't feel like there's a big outdraft from either side. I think teams just going for something a bit different out of the ordinary because for IG especially, they had to. They're down 2-0. Their normal go-to picks are getting banned out or just taken away by Vici Gaming. They had to mix things up.
All right, well, here we go. Game number 2. We'll see if IG can take this series a bit longer or if Vici will take it as a clean sweep. LD and Cinderin, take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to what could be the final match of StarLadder Season 12. Vici Gaming lead IG 2-0 in the best of 5. Hey, Sind, you think we're going to see a Game 4? How you feeling?
I feel like IG have a better draft against that of Vici Gaming this time around, so I'm going to at least say this is going to be a closer game. If Vici can run them down with this draft in the early game, then they're just a class above, let's be honest. It's not... They've picked a defensive, or well, PL is kind of like a hybrid. He's kind of a defensive carry, but at the same time does have aggressive potential in the lane if played correctly and if they make it work. But their support duos, CM and Shaker, are generally not heroes that tend to snowball and get out of control very early in comparison to last game where IO can just take over a game entirely. Their other support in the game was Lion, also scaling very well. So I want to say, regardless of what happens here, this game should go longer than the last. And IG probably feeling pretty happy with their draft. They have some options here. It looks like, as the panel talked about, they might have just basically stolen Vici's Wisp Axe off lane here.
Hey, it looked good. Oh, we'll see a Fissure come out from Fenrir, but it's going to miss the bounty rune. So, yeah, this is the Axe Wisp, dual lane in the off lane. And looking at Vici, they're going to be running a dual melee tri-lane, potentially. The CM kind of jungling, but they do have decent magic damage here. The Lance spam, the Crystal Maiden double nuke at level 2 or 3, potentially, depending on how she wants to play it. For now, just taking the point in Frostbite for FY. Still, though, it feels like they're going to struggle to keep this X-Wisp out of the lane.
Yeah, they must have picked the CM to try to prevent this from happening, right? They had already seen the Wisp and X pickup. They were probably considering that as a laning possibility here for IG, and they choose to go for the CM. So she's going to start in the jungle, as per usual. Saying that after we've seen CM once before in this tournament and 0 times before that in the last 3 months, but
it is generally what CM
does. It's how you start out. So you take a large creep, then you go stack the camp again, and then you can take another large creep, and you're level 2, and then you get your aura. Of course, works twice as effectively on CM, so it gets a lot of mana regen out of it, and it's going to be beneficial for Hao. So even if this lane is going to be difficult for IG, perhaps they can trade even on farm between the PL and the Axe by just constantly using lands to farm creeps. Might even see something like, well, I guess he's going to get an Aquila first, just so he gets even more mana regen out of the PL.
Dude, this set is out of control for burning. I have not seen this one before. Is this the new, I guess it's the new DAC set, or? Man, that is badass.
He is, yeah, holy shit, actually.
He's known as the Emperor in China, and that is an Emperor's garb, that's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Oh, Fissure, this could be the first blood, potentially. Luo really trapped in a bad position. For now, the Wisp able to keep him alive, but they may have another volley of nukes coming out here. I see him a little bit low on mana, unfortunately. Man, if that was not a Wisp plus X, that's a very easy kill.
John using two bottle charges, but doesn't really mind. He's going to get the top rune right away.
Yeah, they're not going to even try to contest, it looks like.
At the very least for Vici Gaming, it's an illusion rune, which kind of sucks on Wisp, so could have been worse. And Ice gets the bottom one, so he's going to get his level 3. Playing what seems to be pretty much a one-on-one lane here against the Sven. Haven't really seen much involvement from Faith yet, who's been trying to counter ward and find a ward that actually isn't there. He has sentry twice. I think Ice has blocked the camp with the rocket. He must have. Like, else there is no way that Lina would be fooled into thinking this is happening. Faith is really confused, I think. Oh, it's been a long time since I've seen that.
I thought I saw them plant a ward down here earlier. I guess not.
Well, then I'm surprised. Well, then he wouldn't have warded again.
Yeah,
so.
For some reason I thought they'd planted a magic bush ward, but I guess not. Well, for now, IG getting a lot out of this off lane, forcing 3 heroes to mostly stay in the lane. Look at the mid lane so far. It is a pretty dead even trade thus far. The Puck really enjoyed that phase shift against the Zeus. He looks to nuke the creep wave. You just phase shift the bounce, so he doesn't take quite as much harassment as some of the other heroes. And well, looking at the safe lane for IG, Sven farming very well. PL struggling a bit more. Early on, overall, it does seem like IG getting a bit of an edge here, but as far as gold goes, but FY looking to make up for it in the jungle.
He's going to rotate back. 2 points in the aura is going to... What's PL's mana region right now? Oh, he's actually going to get called here by Luo.
Not a whole lot of follow-up. Fissure comes out and they're going to chase Fenrir. Are they really diving for this? This is a big, bold move by IG, and Hal looks to turn it. Chuan does have a bottle charge. They're going to have another lance on Hal. He's committing for this. Oh, he gets fogged. Then called, but Fenrir has a Fissure in 1. TP out. Oh, they got him. Wrong side of the Fissure for Hal, but the illusion will do what he couldn't. Gets the first blood for Vici Gaming. Again, they find a way.
He's going to use Doppelganger to get away. It even removes the battle hunger.
I don't really know if they could go Luo here. Out comes the Lance and CM chucking out the nukes. So I think what actually happened was they magic bushed it. It got dewarded, but then the camp still wasn't spawning, probably because Ice blocked it. So then he thought he had failed. There was another ward, and so that's why he went for the second sentry.
And then his own second sentry blocked the camp or what? Because it still hasn't spawned.
Yeah, right? I guess he tried to deward a second ward and ended up blocking it himself. I think that's what happened. Ice.
Almost
barely retreats
here
away
by the Dragon Slave. I think that would have not been enough. That would have been really, really close though. Playing with fire here with that haste rune.
He's getting real aggressive. He actually doesn't have his Wisp here though. I'm not sure if Vici Gaming realized it, but that is a kill under the tower if you frostbite him there.
See, now we'll see him out here.
Not quite so scary.
And I think what you want to do here if you're Vici Gaming is you want to really harass the Axe to force Wisp to stay there. Then he's not off elsewhere stacking, pulling, or helping out another lane. If they just play aggressively on Luo, he's not able to sustain in this lane. Yes, he has Tranquil Boots, but they can actually spam him out so hard with this Frostbite level 1 as well as the 2 in Arcane Aura. And just Lances, Fissures, and Frostbites. Whenever they have full mana on 2 of the heroes, I feel like they should just cast their spells. There we go. They're going to do exactly that. Actually, Luo could even be in trouble.
Yeah, he was playing like the Wisp was in the lane. Not the case. Now the Zeus ult coming out, kept alive by the stick charges. Oh, the orb. The turn with the coil. PL trying to retreat out, but the orbs come through from the Wisp, and everybody may die in the tri-lane. How to fall. FY could be next, being chased out, pursued by Luo. There's the nuke. Fissure, not enough, and Fenrir corralled. Call available, not even required. It's a 3-hero, make it 4-hero takedown around the map as the Clockwork also falls bottom. IG goes from 0 to 1 to 4 to 1.
Perfect TP out of Ferrari. This is the first peak for Puck. The moment you hit level 6 and you have a TP and there's a try versus, well, whatever situation. This is kind of a try versus 1.5 lane because John wasn't there, but is able to get back there in time, and very, very nice rotation out of Ferrari on one of his best heroes that I feel like we don't see enough nowadays. Puck is actually a really potent hero, especially now that teams are starting to play this aggressively in the tournament. Is great at both playing aggressively and stopping aggression with that ult.
And good news here for IG. Not only do they get the kills, but all 3 of their cores are farming well sin. Sure, the jungle got warded off a bit, but we do see a triple stack at the medium camp. No other stacks to speak of. Something they... Oh, actually, there is another one. Luo's going to take the big cap, so that's a quad stack there as well. So much for the jungle being warded, actually slowing them down. And with this fat one, he's going to have a very early blink, it looks like. This time around, there will be no camp steals.
Well, at the very least for Vici, they're not getting invaded and having theirs stolen like IG did last game, so that's something. The stacks are on their own side of the map, and that means the Crystal Maiden can, of course, farm her own jungle as she desires. And what are Vici Gaming really accomplishing, though, is the question. Like they just got 4 heroes killed around the map, like you said. Super in the mid lane is doing a good job. He's tied with Puck, so I guess that's an even lane. And then bottom lane SSI's being level 5 is nice, but can't really do too much right now. He's actually in a hell of a lot of trouble.
Call, Dunk's ready. Luo's looking for another easy kill, and he'll grab it. Gets the chop, 1,600 gold. Things shaping up beautifully here for IG, heading towards the mid game, and they also almost have relocate Sid. This could get out of hand very quickly. And should the Wisp win again, then this starts to feel a little bit like the TI3 finals, where Wisp became the hero that whoever had it just seemed to always have the trump card. Maybe we see it start getting banned after this game.
And this is after the Wisp was the first blood, actually. But
yeah, that's a good point.
yeah, it's looking very good for IG here. 3,000 gold and 2.5 on the XP, it looked like. And, well, Axe with what should be a sub-10 blink as a result of how this early game went, and with the stacks as well. They're putting a lot of emphasis on giving Luo a good head start, and it is an amazing Axe game. I think it's a good call.
Oh, top lane, looks like there will be a bit of a pursuit here onto Faith. Lance cooling down to 2. Hao really wants to go for this. Oh, ends up getting stunned. Well predicted, but not well enough. They relocate in Luo, but Chuan's so low, he's just going to drop almost immediately. One more auto attack, give him the poke. Oh, he's close, he can't quite. There you go, he gets him. Nicely done by Hao. May get caught on the way out, though. The call under tower and chop at the ready. Luo will finish off the 1 position PL. Is a 2 for 1, though, favoring Vici Gaming.
Why did Luo have Berserker's Call on cooldown? He must have called in the jungle.
I think he was using it to clear the stack, and then they saw the dive, and he immediately just wanted to come in.
Yeah.
Which Super's going to finish up, it looks like. At least takes 1 creep.
Fairly expensive. It gives PL a bonus kill there that he really shouldn't have had. They do end up getting him in the end, but he's going to be pretty satisfied with the overall outcome. And he picks up Treads and Bracer. This is not the usual Phantom Lancer build-up. You often see players go for a very fast Yasha. Treads are fairly common, but what looks to be a drum build-up, I think Hal realizes he has to be tanky. Like, you can't go for the greedy farming build against this lineup. Oh,
it's the big reveal of the Blink Dagger from Luo. They began it with the smoke, and it might end with a dunk. Nice hook into the cog. Stuns there, though, and Faith, oh, just auto attack down that off-lane clockwork. Good effort, though, by Ice. He hooked in, then cogged the axe away. It looked like maybe he could make a big escape, but suddenly 4 heroes.
He might have killed Faith if Juan didn't come in there, actually.
Yeah, as well as Burning. They brought in 4 for that one. It does make some space for Hal, though, top lane. He's going to happily start pushing the tower. All Sin, they have their blink on the axe, and Birdie will go into Mask of Madness. This is the, I guess, like the traditional way to play Sven. We saw this a lot back when, I think when you were playing, actually, at DreamHack Winter 2012, it was the Sven Magnus meta.
Oh, that's a long time ago.
Stack Dota.
Back when I was playing.
Back in your day. I know, man. Oh, Burning. Fisher's there. Follow-up from Hal, chasing in. Has the Lance in 1. Burning turns to fight, and one last Lance. Will end up finding it, brings him down. 430's ready, though. With the coil, Orbs in onto Hal. Orb's not going to connect on him. Now Chuan trapped out in the jungle. There's the dunk from Fenrir. Luo turns it with a chop. A lot of explosive movements around the map as Hal chases. He wants another kill. Lance gets Faith too. Not done just yet. Ice in through the front, but now the coil comes through onto 2. FY, he's got stick charges. Could go for the ultimate. No, he's just a bit short. They don't need it. 4 down. Is it going to be a team wipe? Ice. Low. Ends up falling. FY trying to run away. Gets the frostbite off. Come on. You got him, FY. I think you might be dead here. 430. Looking to turn.
You got him. I think you might be dead here. You quickly changed your mind on that one.
Oh, the orb. Oh. That was close.
Can these guys just stop farming and fight?
Oh. Pretty much everyone dies. That is the short version of that fight.
8 heroes die. That was a 4-for-4 trade-off. Probably favoring Vici Gaming a little bit, as Hao does manage to grab a couple of kills there.
And looks like he did spend his gold before dying. Gets the drums recipe. I just love like when the CM's about to die and that little courier is just teleporting all over, or not the courier, the sidekick is teleporting all over the place. It's like, can't you make yourself useful? Just not being cute.
Look at FY's build. He's actually both builds.
Yeah, 2-2-2. And look at this. I feel like that's the only way to play CM, though. Like, what else are you going to buy? An urn?
This is the only way of making sure your hero is useful past minute 15.
Yeah, exactly. That said, Freezing Field has been buffed a lot for like upwards of a year now.
It's actually going to kick ass in this game if he gets a BKB and doesn't get caught by Berserker's Call. Then there's actually no counter. So could become a factor, and they might need FY to become a big damage dealer in this game, since Hao is not getting free farm. He's got a few kills, which is nice, but it's still going to have a hard matchup against the Sven. Zeus can be counter-itemized.
Relocate, but they were ready for this one to some extent. Get off the Zeus ult. Now look to engage further. Still a healthy super. They really want to coil and lock him down if they're looking to chase this. Burning pops the Mask of Madness. Coil's ready. Only used an Ice. He'll TP out towards the well. Orb, and even through the coil break, barely able to survive back towards the well. Close
it's a
call.
relocate down, it's a God Strength down, it's a coil down, and they do not get
And
a kill.
the puck actually bought back as well.
Yeah, that's really, really huge for Vici Gaming here.
Well,
Considering how Brimid was looking very early on with a 5-for-1, they're doing a pretty good job here. Super doing a pretty good job getting dunked.
Well, I think you're jinxing him, Cinder.
Easy caster's curse.
Yeah, it seems to be growing in strength day by day. But it looks like IG may strike back here. Pressuring the tier 1 bottom lane. They are going to clear it out. No deny really being attempted. There's no hook shot ready. And Burning will claim the last hit. And Vici Gaming in the meanwhile using Hao's split push to their advantage, trying to counter this. They have taken a tier 1 top, makes it a 1-to-1 tower score around the map, but with that tier 1 mid being extremely close to going down for IG. They keep on going though. Luo, this truck doesn't stop. Blake forward, another stun, dunk. They can't counter him. IG just want to keep on going for these hit and run missions. Blake, call, stun, and just look for the quick dunk.
It's funny when you bring up the graphs that you can just tell what kind of a game this is. Just if you haven't seen the game and you just look at the graph, you know what's happening. Like it's just kill. One team gets a fight, the other gets a fight. They just keep running around the map. Every single minute there seems to be an engage happening, and IG are getting the better trade here. The big question is, how well is Burning doing? When it comes to the mid game, he really needs to start growing in strength.
430. He just popped an invis room, but the Zeus ults, they paint him out immediately. Very well timed there. I don't think they saw him actually pop the rune, but they must have known it was about to come out.
Right. That's going to answer my question. Burning just got a truckload of gold from this ancient stack.
Was that 4? 4 stacks?
It was 3 or 4, I think. Vici Gaming will be seeing it with the rocket here from Ice, so they know it has.
They are looking for the jump on mid, maybe?
What did he buy?
Is it Armlet coming for Burning or BKB? It's normally one. It could be a Blink, actually.
BKB. I was thinking Blink could be a nice choice too, but in a way it's overkill when you already have Puck and Axe to engage with. Make sure your Sven hits hard and that he can run into the fight.
And looking at Vici, they're almost entirely magic damage for a large portion of this game.
I think more important than anything, this BKB against Zeus, so he doesn't die during Mask of Madness, and against the Cogs, so he can actually get around, is very important.
And there's no real disable that goes through Magic Immunity, just the hook shot, but that is not a long duration disable Sind.
How is it Freezing Field works against BKB? Does it slow attack speed, move speed, or neither?
I think the slows. Well, it says pierce the spell immunity. No, I'm not. I guess maybe not.
I can't remember.
There's the Freezing Field. Speaking of which, does decent damage to supports, but not quite enough. Now Bernie relocates in, joined by Chuan. They want to dive. They go for the call on Ice, but he's protected inside his own cogs for now, and well, not for much longer. They still rotate in further. Hao's going to look to engage, finds Faith, and meanwhile the Echo Slam to 430. Phase shift, dodging away from the fissure. Now Orbs to the left, tries to retreat, and looks like he'll make his way out. 2 for 1 overall. But IG go right back towards top, and they'll get a free tower, and I guess Vici Gaming get a free tower too. So it truly is about as even as it gets.
And it looks like IG mistimed the glyph, so they actually used it after the tower fell, and now they don't have a glyph for mid, and as a result, might deny it.
Oh, maybe not. They're looking for a dive here. Super has bottle charges. Chucks out the bolt for now, but Wick's going to heal him up. I think if you're Vici, you'd love to just go for a bit of a hit or run, and now 430 may just go ahead and, like you said, Sin, deny that tower.
Do you think Super's making the right call going for Bloodstone first in this game? Getting tanky is nice and all, but I still think if he gets caught by anything, he's probably going to get blown up. Then they're going to have to commit a few extra spells and a little extra time to killing him, but...
What do you like better, Force Staff, Yules?
I think it's very important they kill the Wisp, and with a Blink,
even a Blink dagger?
Perhaps with a Blink first. I think I have a feeling that in this situation, Fatsa's first item would be a blink. So he can get, first of all, he can disjoint the Sven stun, or he could, you know, try to get in behind and catch the Wisp off guard. Also, just get in a really good position to get some static field going, so both Puck and Axe can't blink. Does seem to be a pretty nice item here. I'm almost 100% certain he will be getting it next, but not sure if Bloodstone. Well, this way he's going to farm faster. That's the plus.
I guess the other way to look at it is they don't really have other heroes that scale well aside from PL. Well, speaking of that PL, Hal's own illusion being turned against him. Relocate comes in, and we talked about how well IG deal with PL illusions. This was a first overall pick Phantom Lancer, and some of his weaknesses are showing here. Vulnerable against the Axe. The Cleave hasn't really come into play yet, but it is now level 4 Great Cleave. So you got to expect it will become a factor soon.
And I wonder why Vici Gaming are pulling that out. That was something I actually wanted to ask. Like, why do you think they're starting to prioritize PL so much? In their previous series, they haven't really given it much attention, haven't really picked it, haven't really banned it that high. Then they go into the Grand Finals. In Game 1, they first face ban it. And in Game 2, they first face pick it. It's like...
It does seem really strong a lot. Oh, IG. Maybe making a move here. It does seem really strong. Oh, no, never mind. Looks like they're going. God damn it, IG. They're going on super. Flake in. He's kept alive for now by the Soul Booster, but only for a time. Hal Poppy at Drum Charge really wants Faith. Jumps forward and gets off the lance. That should be Faith's death as the illusion will poke him down, but can they get a trade in return? Hal onto Luo. Tanky with the Vanguard. Survives for a while, and now big bad Birdie comes in. Fissure blocking him completely away. What an amazing play by Fenrir. Hal now looks to retreat. He can scurry up the cliff in just a moment, courtesy of the Doppelganger. Should make his way out. Man, what a Fissure by Fenrir.
That was perfect. And it goes to show that sometimes just... he dealt no damage with it, and he's done no one. It's just such an incredible ability, even if you don't hit anyone. I mean, sometimes it can also be bad if you don't hit anyone. It's situational, but...
I feel like to answer your question about the PL, I don't know if there's a clear answer, but it feels like it's a combination of they're confident in the hero in general. They can run it off lane. They've done that before for Ice Ice Ice. So you could sort of argue it's like the Cloud9 Phoenix, where you don't really know what it means for the overall strategy. I think it's pretty good against a lot of the current heroes in the meta. Troll, Juggernaut, generally PL matches up quite well. Sure, you might get blinded, that's okay, just make a new army of illusions, go to work again, and wins those war of attrition battles generally. So, I don't know. I think it seems like it's a hero that just gives IG trouble in general. I don't know if they've actually been able to deal with it before this match.
And IG themselves did pick it against Cloud9 in Game 2.
That's
so
true.
it also denies
and it could even
be
maybe a block pick, like you're saying. That's a good point.
It's possible. All right. Hearing Berserker's call. Oh, Zusolt's going to find Luo. Fissure on cooldown. He's going to get away.
Yeah, no relocate here for Vici. That's only something IG can bring to the table. Well, Sid, what is the next step here? Burning is farming very well. IG seem to have good answers for PL. Can they just take this late? Oh man, here we go. Relocate, more action from IG. They have the BKB ready. God's Strength is enabled, and Burning will waste no time and slice through a couple of heroes. Now, can he find more? Luo blinks in, has no mana though. He can't really get too much done at this point. Held in place by Frostbite. PL just fencing in and out. Now another lance forward, and Super also not being dealt with. Chucks out the bolt, secures the kill, and 3 heroes fall in exchange for 2 from Vici as they chase for a bit more. Burning now, galloping away, and there is another Doppelganger if he wants to jump in. Seems to let him go, but they're not done. 430 is waiting. One of those games where it's like, okay, fight's over. No, just kidding. Fight's not over just yet.
He's going to see FY warding, and he's probably going to kill him with the Dagon now that it's...
Not now, I think. Oh, yeah, he does have the Dagon. Maybe he can go for this. Risky, though. Doesn't know who's nearby, and if FY walks this way, then that's where 430 looks to make his move, but Super just dangerously close. Sun's there, Wisp by the Lita, but there's a Stormbolt and zap. Yeah, what do you think for IG, Sin? It seems like they have good answers for PL. Do they just turn this into like a farm trade? Are they the team that needs to apply pressure? Like, how do you see this game developing over the next 20 to 30 minutes?
I think playing a farm war against PL is always scary, even if you have a good counter pick, because Sven is nice when he gets to just stand and lay into the PL, but he's melee, which is one of the big issues that Vici Gaming are actually really good at dealing with. Even though Sven has a BKB, they can still, as they talked about in the panel during the draft, Clockwork can catch him off with the Cogs, they can block him off with a Fissure, and even if he manages to cleave down some illusions, Doppelganger is going to have a very low cooldown soon, and he can just get some new ones. So I don't know if IG should just be happy with trading farm, unless if they have some sort of game plan of, I feel like ending the game before, say, 45 minutes or so, because beyond that, sieging high ground against this Dire team is going to be a nightmare.
The only thing I wonder is, I look at some of these Vici heroes, and I feel like the Zeus PL are extremely scary late. Ice will get stunned. Looks like he'll be picked up on him. Earthshaker can be strong. No, there you go.
But BK beat for that.
But Crystal Maiden, Clockwork, generally these heroes are limited in what they can bring to the table in the late game.
Well, it looks like FY is building for... You know, if this was any other hero, it would be a Skadi, right? But this is a hero Skadi is not good on Purge. It's not good on every hero.
Initiation mid lane, super fairly tanky, has the Bloodstone denied, doesn't get it off in time. Luo finding the kill there, now Laguna Blade looking for a bit more. FY turns, there's the Crystal Maiden, oh, gets canceled, nice try. Now a follow-up call, 3 dead. May end up being 4 here as Hao is forced to run Burning, slicing through him a little bit. Not quite enough damage though, and now the turn. Fissure comes through, that's onto 3, Echo Slam follow-up now, jumping forward for Luo. Fenrir starting to work on him, blink in for 430 and just gets melted by Hao. They'll try to retreat out now, but Ice has arrived, has a Hulk in 1 second. Got a juke here, no such luck for Luo. Caught out and will end up falling. Ends up being a fairly even exchange around the board.
Vici Gaming are getting a lot out of this PL. He's creating loads of space in the fight. He gets multiple lances off every single fight. Has, of course, the Diffusal Blade that he's already managed to use 4 times and just...
He's just so damn elusive. Like, look at the old PL, his escape mechanism was just running away in Viz. And that can be dealt with by simply picking up a Duster, especially a gem, since you can't purge or myth.
I think
at
with
all.
the old PL, Vici Gaming might have almost lost this game by now.
But with this PL, you're just so damn difficult to track down in the fight unless they get that really good blink call to start it off.
Yeah. We're going to assume FY is building an Ags, right?
I think so. Unless he goes like point booster into BKB and then back for an Ags.
Yeah. How good is that Ags first? Like, it's still about whether he gets canceled or not.
It's one of those, like, it could be game-breaking or it could be useless, I feel, just depending on positioning and if they get a good initiation from the other heroes. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't really have that. I don't have a concept of how good an early Axe is on Crystal Maiden because I just never see it. Like, a lot of the time you get this feeling from playing some games, you've played against some CMs that managed to get it early and you get this idea of, wow, this is insane, but
there's your
in a
Zeus.
competitive environment, it's been a very long time since anyone even picked this hero.
Burning, finally jumping in, God strength enabled, and man, he's going deep. Super may need to Bloodstone deny here. There you go. Oh, drop back down. Relocate comes in though, catches out FY, and this is not the way Vici Gaming want to be taking their fights 1 by 1, getting caught out to Centaur, cooperating, but it won't matter. FY, he can speak to the creeps, but they're not enough to save him there.
Man, that could have been so unfortunate that Centaur actually canceled that game. Jesus.
If he just like skates away with that infuriating little animal trailing behind him.
It's like they've kept killing the Centaur's brothers all game in this jungle. He's like, thank you, let me help you out. Doesn't matter. He will be killed off here. And
they have short memories, apparently. Those
IG
Centaurs
are doing a good job in this fight, getting multiple kills with the relocate, but the fact is, Burning's BKB is actually dropping very low, and I think this is a very big deal in a game like this. They've managed to accumulate a 4,000 gold lead over 25 minutes with the start they had. Is that going to be enough when Burning's BKB drops low? They have plenty of control, as we talked about, against him, especially when BKB ends. It's very difficult to play Sven against Shaker, who, by the way, has a blink of his own. Have we seen that used yet?
I think he just got this, judging by his gold.
That could provide a surprise fight as well here for Vici Gaming, so I'm not 100% confident that this is enough for Burning, but he is definitely looking very good now with a Daedalus going to be coming out as well.
Well, Burning continues to farm at a very alarming rate. Even if the BKB is low, the items continue to pile up. Now a Daedalus coming out on the courier, it looks like, and as well as a little bracer for Faith. He'll take what he can get at this point. Nobody really having gone for Roche yet, but it seems that might change. Fissure coming through by Luo.
Very aggressive here.
Blinks forward to try and chase out Fenrir's Earthshaker. And I looked like IG had ambitions of walking towards the Roche pit, but doesn't seem they're going to go for it just yet. Do you think they could just walk into the pit, or is that just too dangerous against the spam and the potential hook shot?
I think going into the pit is a very high-risk play that's unnecessary. Get a relocate gank first, maybe. Get a 5-on-4, maybe even a 5-on-3 situation and take it for free. Or if you want to just force something, I think forcing the tier 2 tower is a lot easier. It's an easier arena for them to fight in. They don't clump up as much. They can have Burning in front, always being able to either blink call to save him or just relocate him out. Probably a safer choice here for IG.
No huge items just yet for the PL. How? Let's see, what's coming on the courier? Manta? Yeah, he's got his Manta now. Does have a way to deal with this Puck Silence, which could be a thorn in his side, but already had the Diffusal for that, I suppose. As IG will smoke up and under cover of it. Get aggressive. They face elimination here. If they should drop this game, they got to find a way to crack through the Vici Gaming defenses. Planting down an aggressive Observer Ward. They get eyes on How. Doesn't have buyback right now. There's the Blink Call. They need Ice to interrupt this. He hooks in, but he gets caught by some nuke damage, and he'll die as a collateral follow-up kill. Burning came in for the backside. He brought down a third with the Shaker. And IG power their way through the Vici Gaming backlines, and this should be the Roche if they want it, Sind.
Perfect smoke timing. This is exactly what they needed to find. A fast kill on the PL. If they manage to jump him with Burning like this and shut him down entirely, he will not be able to play as elusively as he's done in the past here. He's not even able to cast his Manta before he dies. Just stun lock into complete death. And Ice trying to help out. Turned out to be the wrong play there. He kind of has to try, but
it really seems like Luo is the key for IG. Every bad game Luo's had, I feel like they've lost. And every time he has a dominating performance, they have a really good showing. So more than any other player, I think it really depends on the off-lane matchups, it seems. Like, we saw the Spirit Breaker in their one of their earlier games versus Cloud9, where Cloud9 was totally ready for it, right? They had the Lion, a lot of other lockdown to prevent his charges from coming off the Zeus Thunderbolt, the Naga counter initiation, and when he couldn't do anything, it felt like the whole draft just fell apart. But give him a little space, a little support with the Wisp, and look at him, man. He's 10-3 and 13.
Yeah, he's owning this game. He's only uses BKB once, so has a lot more in the tank in the next fights to come. Sven is now down to 5 seconds, though. So Burning will have to play with that 5-second magic immunity for the rest of the game, but at this point, it does seem like they got enough done. The last time we talked about it, which seemed like it was like 2 minutes ago, since then they've got a Roche, a triple kill, about 8,000 additional experience and gold out of it. Now we're starting to reach what it needs to look like for IG to be able to close this game out fairly convincingly.
For now, Vici Gaming looking to do a bit of dewarding, but Luo gets eyes on Fenrir, and he'll just go right in. They have no relocate, or actually, no, they do. It was already cast. Chuan comes in, joined by Burning, stuns there onto Super, just shreds him with the crit. Looking for How as well. Can he get him? Just needs one more, another crit, almost. How close, dead.
Another crit.
Burning, just out of his mind at this point. This golden armor gives him a triple kill, and IG press onwards. He'll blink back, chuckling maniacally to himself. Another big fight there for IG.
Oh, when Sven gets to hit,
does he
is
ever?
One of the best carries in the game.
And again, set up by Luo. Every time Luo's the one initiating, and then all eyes turn towards him, and even other heroes who aren't caught by the X are distracted and not ready for the relocate, and they get jumped instead. It just feels like while the Sven can be dealt with in theory by these heroes, practically speaking, they're always busy reacting to other threats.
And it feels like he just got a Daedalus, now he has a Kyrus as well. This is...
Jeez.
His inventory is actually ridiculous for the duration of this game. His GPM currently sitting at 723 in a 30-minute game. Ice.
Hook shots there, finds Luo. Not really the ideal target, and Burning blinks over the top towards FY. Laguna finishes off one. Necro Creep almost killing off FY. No, it's the dunk that'll end him. And now they chase Super. IG showing real resilience here, waiting for the Burning Blink. Not going to use it. Facing Elimination Cinder, and they are looking like they want that game 4. And at this rate, they'll probably get it. How do Vici Gaming turn this game around? What is the big play for them? Or is there one?
Crystal main BKB. It feels like it's got to be. I don't think Hal can do it yet. He's going to need more time, and that time has to be bought by someone. Super has really, compared to Zeus in general, as we've seen in this tournament, hasn't had that good of a game. He's down to 2 Bloodstone charges. I think since he picked it up, he hasn't even got a charge on it. And
I mean, he has some mobility item now in the Force Staff, but it's at the point when IG just have another round of damage items and levels. The level 2 Laguna Blade, the Dagon was picked up much earlier. Now the Aghanim Scepter complete on 430, and oh, hello.
Super dead.
Again, Luo, once more, over the top. 27 out of 35 kills the Axe has been a part of.
That's a really good showing of what that hero can do with an early advantage. Very similar to what we saw last game out of Ice. They're both just rocking.
No. Yeah, I was talking about the Wisp, but maybe it's the Axe that's the problem.
Yeah.
Seems to be doing a lot of work here.
Well,
they're relocating. They want to fight. Burning straight forward onto FY. Now the coil deployed. Fenrir will break it, and that is not going to save you, my friend. Not when that gigantic sword comes to thwomping. IG looking for a tier 2 mid. Don't have the creeps yet, but they're coming in, Sind. And, well, do Vici Gaming actually want to try and contest this? Unless no buybacks. They're just going to have to give this up.
Yeah. God Strength was used, so I think IG will pull back or maybe take the top tier 2 after this instead of trying to go high ground. There's no need to risk it yet. They're gaining so much advantage every minute, playing exactly like they're doing right now. And
Burning has 10,000 net worth, nearly more than the PL.
It's starting to look like the...
Is there even a late game for
troll
this
of
PL?
Hao against Cloud9.
It really is. He was a solid.
I think this is even more scary.
This is even. It was like 50 to 75% additional farm compared to what the enemy cores had. And Burning's doing it while fighting almost constantly. 7, 1, and 12 in his own right. They look for more now. Hao trying to retreat out top lane. 4-step, Blake from Luo, and this time he whiffs. Hao able to dodge that nicely with the doppelganger. And will end up retreating. Very good reactions there, and necessary to save his life.
He's starting to feel a little confident. I don't think he should.
Hao's always confident. This guy's just like throwing his under siege, and he's smiling, giggling, trying to take a fight. It's just in his nature.
We'll be occupying his jungle a little bit here with the illusions, farming whatever he can, but fact is, Vici Gaming can't really get into their own jungle much right now. They do get a little bit, but they know that IG are controlling the entirety of the map. They have to play defensively, and once again, it's difficult to imagine a fight that Vici Gaming wins unless they manage to bait out both BKBs on IG's side, maybe only sacrificing something like a support for it, or maybe the...
Hao even better. First using the doppelganger, then Manta dodges away from the call, but still forced off the fight. They're going to lose Ice regardless here, and maybe more. As 430 dives in deep, nearly falling immediately. A big burning crits coming through, and now the Blake Echo a bit off the mark. Burning kills him up too. Give him a triple. He wants an ultra as well. FY dunked. Burning will be denied the ultra, but he'll happily take a 4th kill for his team as the hits just keep on coming. Doppelganger up the cliff. Nice escape by Hao, but even if he lives, he just limps back to the well on a bare sliver of HP. They're not even scratching the Sven Sin. He's got another item.
That was actually not that far from the type of fight I think Vici Gaming needs to force. So what they need to have happen, they're probably going to lose a Rax and maybe even the game here. But what they didn't need to have happen there is they need to force out the BKBs with Clockwork. They lose the Clockwork. Like, he's dead. There's no way Ice stays alive in this. And then once the BKBs are down, maybe they can get a freezing field, maybe they can get an Echo Slam. And if Hao gets to be active during that fight, perhaps he can get a couple of kills and they can snowball the fight. But this way, it was close. It wasn't good enough as, they're chasing down Luo with the
Burning has
Zeus
BKB and God Strength. He could turn this if they're not careful. They also have the Wisp respawning in 10 for a relocate. I think if you're Vici, you just got to let him go.
IG are just... Oh my... Okay, when was it I said it's been 2 minutes since Burning got a Daedalus, and then he got Curious?
I think about 4 minutes ago, and now he's got an MKB.
So he got 1,500 GPM in the last 4 minutes.
Maybe not quite, but they got 2 towers, a bunch of kills.
He is closing in on 800 GPM now.
Ay.
Sick stuff. He's 10, 1, and 12. Axe is 12, 3, and 16. Like, if you look across the board for IG, all of their heroes actually have incredible KDAs, with maybe the exception of the Io and Lina. And the only reason they have poor KDAs in comparison is just that PL is actually able to kill those heroes.
Yeah, he doesn't even.
Difference.
Hao doesn't even try for the cores. He's only focusing those supports. Well, Sind, we're about to see a refresher on 430. We've hardly talked about his puck. He's quietly had a decent impact in the fights. The one big fight was the top lane very early, and since then it's just doing his job on the puck. But he's about to get the double Aghadim's coil, it looks like, to go with the double Dagon, double Illusory Orb, and double Waning Rift. So that is
phase shift.
Yeah, wow.
He's gonna use it.
Yeah, that's a lot of AoE damage, man.
If he does that, I want you to do double WoW.
I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever do that.
It is
again.
necessary.
Okay. If I don't, you're going to do it for me, so I don't think I have a choice.
Oh.
Seems like the next Roche will be where both teams have their eyes set. Faith walks in, has some wards ready, and He's going to plop one down. This is spotted by a Fireward. Immediate Zeus ult. They're angry about that vision.
Yeah, they're going to play a little bit passively here in their own jungle for a little bit, but actually this ward is proving to be very useful right now for Vici Gaming. They're getting a lot of information. And what it's basically allowing them to do right now is for how to farm. The info they have right now, he can currently push out the mid lane with his illusions. Could all even be there
that's
with
a
his hero.
zero Bloodstone charge Zeus. Give him a break, IG. No mercy whatsoever. Dagon orb forward, and now Burning leaps in. Where's the crit? Doesn't even really need it, it seems. Regular auto text will suffice. He's hitting for 650 a pop, and Faith and Fenrir duke it out. They can't even kill off the stinking Lina. 3 dead. No real trades in sight, and Hal just hoping for an opening. May cost him his life. The Blink in. Burning has the stun. Oh, Doppelganger over the tree line. Can he make it out? Blink forward by Luo. His Blink getting canceled, but gonna have it very soon. Now the Lance will stop the chase, and seems running low on mana. He will be forced to give up, but Burning just, he can't be stopped, it feels. This is without the Wisp even tethered to him half the time.
I'm surprised Vici Gaming got caught out there with all the information they got from this ward down here. They saw the movement of IG's heroes and still they managed to get the jump. And the moment IG gets the jump, the fight is pretty much over. I don't think Vici Gaming can really fight back. They do have a Force Staff now on Clockwork, and the biggest play Ice can make, which is why he's itemizing like this, is hookshot the Sven, cog him in, and force himself out.
And then waste his BKB and his God Strength.
That's the best thing he can do at this point. He will still most likely die in the process.
Again, a nice retreat there, courtesy of the Doppelganger.
He's actually playing extremely well in this game.
It's one of those, like, that's a huge play to push the wave and not die, but you don't really see it on the scoreboard. And IG just so impressive the way they bounce back this game. Oh no, how has he been caught?
Oh, they mistimed
it.
it.
Yule's call isn't there now. Doppelganger, and he basically jumps right up and down to the same location. He tanks the Aghanim's coil, tries to retreat. He's going to break this if he's not careful, and now the Sven stun. They've isolated Hal, but also Burning gets stunned. Pushed back by the Cogs. Big bailout by Ice. Still, I don't even know if Hal can kill the stinking axe. He jumps into Tron, almost dead to this. He survives it. How the hell does he do it? Now the chase the other way. 430. Somebody kill the Phantom Lancer. Just hit him once. What is going on? 50 HP. Finally, they taser him. Jesus, man.
Zeus got 2 Bloodstone charges after that fight.
Woo! He had 0 before that, so he'll definitely take it.
That was actually a really... I guess it's impressive how Vici Gaming were able to draw out that fight. They're 25,000 gold behind, but they got the exact opening they wanted. They bait out the BKB of Sven. He tries to find the PL, doesn't manage to. Ice hook shots in. Buys a lot of time, and Hal, once again, he's a magician on this PL. It's been a really standout performance from him.
I mean, he's hoodwinked them into just pretending he doesn't exist. He's like 50 HP, running after heroes, and they're just... Maybe they thought it was an illusion, I'm not sure, but they were not reacting whatsoever.
And he...
Money to burn.
I don't...
Imagine if he had farm. He is 11k down on Burning. Then he would probably be wiping them, but...
And he buys the Talisman of Evasion, but doesn't upgrade it into Butterfly. I think he saw that Burning gets the MKB, and he's like, whatever, it's actually not even worth the money. I'm going to try to get a Scotty so I can live.
He's had the Talisman for a while, but yeah, as well as he's playing, he isn't farming that much. Like,
no.
I remember he had this, I think, like 8 minutes ago, maybe even 10. Did he buy back at one point? I'm trying to remember.
No,
I don't think so. I think it's just a lack of CS. He's 140 down on Sven. That is a lot. And a lot of those Sven creeps are actually ancients, so.
It's what generally tends to happen when you lose your jungle that early on in the game and you can't keep they can't keep the map control. The only type of hero that can really keep up in a situation like this is a hero that the old PL would have been able to keep up, because he could just send illusions to the lanes and let them push.
Ice, get me to the chopper! No, not gonna happen. He hooks, he jumps out with the force, and still Luo is there. Like a bloodhound to track him down anyway.
Every time I move my camera onto Burning, he gets a crit. Like every single time, someone just dies.
It's unbelievable at this point. He's got the data list. I mean, look at these items. It's just, he doesn't even have the Masqueratus, but I don't know if he needs it. AC, treads, as well as the Wisp Tether overcharge. That is a lot of attack speed. And I guess the one piece of good news is Burning has pretty much run out of item slots, unless he wants to drop a Blink Dagger.
That blink is really important, though.
Yeah.
It's the way he gets onto the PL or the Clockwork in the first place.
So, Other option would be maybe buying the refresher. I think it's a pretty good item on Sven, double God Strength, double BKB, but I don't know if there's another like regular item that you can carry around that replaces these. Unless you want to drop the BKB, but then he becomes a lot more vulnerable to the Zeus, as you pointed out earlier, Sind.
Yeah, it's not the easiest of situations here. I like the 7th slot refresher on a courier. I actually think it's a really good idea. Probably the best item here, because the way the fights usually happen is IG, they get some sort of good fight going, and then God Strength expires, and they have to go back. But if he has a second one, he could probably just go siege high ground. And even if with Vici Gaming buybacks, that's the scary thing with Sven, is that you have this small timing window with your God Strength. And when it's over, if the enemy heroes buy back, you're suddenly not that useful anymore. But with a refresher, he's just good to go again. But does he have the mana pool is the question.
With the Wisp,
Yeah.
if he gets a couple of mana regen usages. Vici Gaming are playing in the dark, though, Sin. I'm just looking at the map right now. They've only got a single ward. They do have the Zeus and the Clockwork for some scouting information, but still you can see that they're very hesitant to leave the base. And it is costing them farm.
With all this happening, though, IG still have to take a lane of Rax. And if they fail in a high ground push and take a bad fight, this is a 30k gold lead. It's probably going to be a 10,000 gold swing at least. If
And
they
the experience will probably be like 15,000, I would say. Maybe even a bit more, depending on how severely they lose the push.
And it is actually possible for Vici to hold the high ground with the buybacks. They currently have none, so,
So it's
maybe not so possible.
I was checking, like, I see a lot of red here.
If they have buybacks, they can probably hold an Aegis push, but no Aegis available right now. Is that correct? No, wait, they have it. I am actually I'm tripping. There
okay,
isn't, yeah, I'm nervous.
I slipped something in your drink.
That's what you do at Beyond the Summit.
Just got to make you look bad. IG, group it up mid. I guess the question is, do they want to go with this Aegis? It's a refresher axe. We saw this from Zai at, was it DAC?
Yeah.
The double Berserker's Call can be really devastating.
It's extremely good. It's also double BKB.
That's true.
And of course, 2 Force Staffs, but that's less relevant. But it's still cool that, so when you use Refresher, it also refreshes your Blink Dagger. Even, oh, wait a second. It's going to jump on Super.
Blink call number 1. BKB gets popped super. Secondary call pushed all around. Where's the chop? Ice the first. Double dunker. They get them both. And meanwhile, Hal tried to retreat, but this could be troublesome. They brought in Birdie as well. Do they have creeps pushing in? They do in the mid lane. They gotta find a way to slow down this push. Doppelganger towards the south, but waiting is burning, and he goes in. The secondary barrage of nukes from 430. 3 cores dead, no buybacks. It could be GG in just a matter of seconds. Luo, a third call for this fight. There's no mana here for a chop, nor is there cooldown, but I mean, IG could just go for the GG right now. Another crit. It began with crits, it may end with them. GG! Invictus Gaming stay alive and force a game 4.
Yeah, very nice early game from them. They managed to get a big advantage of the Whispbacks in the offlane, got the job done. Their Sven got completely out of control as well. They won 2 lanes massively. And well, Vici Gaming